We're gonna make an Asian style beef brisket today in our slow cooker. I'd love to just do something different, right? Sometimes we just wanna have a little pizzazz with our food.
Pizzazz, pizzazz, pizzazz.
So this is a flat cut, center cut brisket. It's about 4 pounds. So since I'm using some soy and I'm using also a chili paste, it's got a lot of sodium in it. So I'm just gonna lightly season the brisket, okay? So just, you still wanna get some salt on there. But normally, since this is a pretty thick cut of meat, I would like heavily salt on both sides. Just gonna give it a light kosher salt on that side, a little bit of ground black pepper. And then my slow cooker actually has, my insert actually has the ability to be able to go on the stovetop. So that's great because I'm actually gonna brown this on both sides. I just like to get that caramelization started. You don't have to. You could absolutely just do this recipe without doing that at all. If you still want it to be browned, what I would do is at the end, when it's all finished cooking, I'd take it out, put it on a baking sheet, and put it under your broiler for about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I have 3 tablespoons of avocado oil in here. This is the insert to my slow cooker. I've got it on a medium high. I've salt and peppered one side. Ooh, this is heavy. Okay, going in, but it's gonna feed a lot of people. Okay, going in. I'm gonna season the other side, and we're gonna let it sit about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, again, not too much salt because the soy and everything has salt in it. The sauce we're gonna get going in a few. Okay, let that cook. Okay, it's just been 5 minutes. I'm gonna give it a flip. Wish me luck here. This is a big piece of meat. Just wanna be careful because I don't wanna splatter myself here. There we go. Got some nice caramelization happening there. I don't know why beef has such a bad rap.
Where's the beef?
It's full of essential nutrients, amino acids. It's got vitamins, it's got niacin, lots of iron. And actually the iron that's in beef, we assimilate in our body much easier, efficiently. So it's a really good source of iron, vitamin B12, vitamin B6. I mean, just lots of good things. Phosphorus, I could go on. You know, obviously it's moderation with everything, right? But if you're cooking at home, it's gonna be a much healthier choice. Okay, so the brisket is all browned and golden there. It's gonna be delicious. That just adds all kinds of flavor in. So everything is just gonna go into my slow cooker pot now. I'm just gonna make up the sauce. This is gonna be so tasty. So my brain just works. I wake up in the morning, I think, oh, what I'm gonna have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A little crazy, right? But I like to do a twist on things. So I'm thinking, how can I make like a fusion, right? So this is basically a Korean sauce I'm kind of making that I use for my bulgogi, but I'm gonna make what's called a banh mi, which is Vietnamese sandwich. I think banh mi actually stands for the bread. I think it's the bread that they use, which is kind of like a French style baguette or Vietnamese style baguette. So that's what I'm creating in my mind. So I'm going to show you how I make my sauce. So this is 1 cup of low sodium beef stock going in. You can make your own or you can buy it. They've got great kinds in the store that are just fine. Just try to buy the low sodium. This is 1/4 of a cup of gochujang, which is basically a Korean chili paste. It's fabulous. If you've never used it, try it in this recipe. You will adore it. A little sticky, but there we go. This is 1/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. I have 1/4 of a cup of rice vinegar, 1/4 of a cup of low sodium soy sauce. You could also use tamari, which is really good. Either one would be fine. This is 2 tablespoons of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of lemongrass, and so good. I buy these in the tube. It just saves me a little bit of time. You could totally grate this on your own. And this is a good healthy pinch of red pepper flakes, just because I like things a little spicy. Okay, so that's going in. And honestly, I just like anything that comes in sandwich form. So this is what I'm doing. This is 1/2 of an onion slice. It doesn't have to be sliced in a particular way because we're just using it to flavor the sauce. Because what I'm gonna do, this is gonna cook about 8 hours. While it's doing that, I'm actually gonna pickle some vegetables to go on my sandwich. I'm gonna pickle up some carrots, thinly sliced, and thinly sliced radish, and thinly sliced cucumber. It sounds a little bit odd, but you will love this combination, I promise. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is just combining everything. Just giving this all a stir, getting it combined, and then I'm gonna nestle in the brisket on top, and we're gonna seal her up for 8 hours. And I'm also, because I did use this to brown the meat, I'm kind of deglazing the bottom of the pan, so those little brown bits, they add this like nice flavor to the sauce. All right, almost combined. Ooh, got myself. Clean up on the set. If people only knew. Okay, so I'm just gonna slide this meat in. This is super heavy. So do this as delicately as I can without making too much of a mess. There we go. Okay, not too bad. And then you never want to get rid of these juices, like liquid gold, right? Just add them right back into the pot. And then I'm just gonna cover on up for 8 hours. Can't wait. All right. Okay, so the brisket's cooking away. Already smells fabulous in here. While that's happening, I'm gonna actually pickle my vegetables. So I've already made the pickling liquid, which is just 1 cup of water, 1 cup of rice vinegar, and half a cup of sugar. Okay, that's all it is. And you just put it on the stove and you just make sure the sugar is melted completely. Oh, and I put in a little pinch of red pepper flake. I just like things a little spicy.
That's a spicy meatball.
So I have 3 small little mini cukes. I love these. They don't have a lot of seeds, but I still am gonna take the seeds out. So I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna cut these in half and then just using a spoon, I'm just gonna take these out. So just kind of going down the middle there. You could leave them in. I don't know what it is about the seeds that I just don't care for. But so I'm gonna take mine out. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this, kind of go in half. And then I'm just gonna make little strips. Just little strips, just like that. And I'm gonna continue doing that with the cucumbers. And then I'm gonna show you how we slice up the radishes and the carrots as well. Okay, so we got all our carrots, like little matchsticks in there. And I'm just gonna get the radishes sliced up. Just gonna try to go as thin as I can. Use my best knife skills here. I'm a home cook, not a chef, but trying to get better as we go, right? So just wanna make sure I keep my fingers out of the way. Going through. I love radishes. They kind of have, sometimes they're spicy, sometimes they're not. I like them either way. So good. I love them on salads. I love them on tacos. But this is gonna go on our, in air quotes, banh mi sandwich.
When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Okay. Okay, so the same thing. We're just gonna continue with our carrots. Just trying to make them small. Remember, this is gonna be the topping for our sandwich. I love to have that little crunch on there. I think, you know, when you're cooking at home, it's nice to have different textures with your food. Plus, if you have kids, right? Or even big kids that don't like vegetables, you're kind of sneaking them in there. It's been really cool. Our grandsons, one is soon to be 13 and one just turned 5. And they're getting an interest in the cooking and in cooking and being in the kitchen. And I think it's fabulous because if they're actually touching the food, seeing what goes into what is on their plate, more apt to want to eat it, right? I'm always like, let's get as much color on that plate as we can. Color in the food world equals a lot of nutrients. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, so here's the pickling liquid just going in. Just want to make sure everything is nice and covered. Again, super simple to make yourself. It just takes a few minutes on the stove. So this is going to sit. The longer it sits, the more flavor it picks up, which is yummy. And I'm just gonna make sure it's all covered there. And I'm just gonna put this in the fridge. I'm just gonna wait for the brisket to be done later on in the day. Okay, well, it smells fabulous in here. It's been 8 hours. Just gonna shut this off. The brisket's been cooking. I've been getting other things done during the day. Fantastic. I'm just gonna take this out. Oh my gosh, look at that. Amazing. It smells so good. So I'm just going to let this rest. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to turn this actually on high. All I'm going to do is I'm going to create a slurry. All that is the equal part water and cornstarch. So I've got 3 tablespoons of both. You want the liquid to be cold, or you just don't want it to be hot. Just going to whisk it in and get it nice and combined. There we go. This will avoid any lumps. We don't want any of that. And all I'm gonna do is just make a nice little gravy. Okay, there we go. So everything's all mixed in. I do want to thicken the gravy though, just a little bit. So this will help. The cornstarch will aid that in. And it won't thicken until it actually comes back up to a bubble. So just gotta be patient a little bit. So just a few minutes, and then you'll just see this start to thicken. Okay, so while my sauce is thickening up, I've got 1/2 cup of mayo, and this is just, I'm gonna do 1 good heaping tablespoon of the gochujang sauce. This stuff is so good. I'm just gonna make my own little sauce for this. It's gonna take me a minute to kind of incorporate it. And look how pretty that looks. Coming together. Okay, so we are ready. The gravy is thickened up a little bit. I want to show you though, it's really important. You can kind of see how the grain of the meat is running this way. You want to cut across the grain. If you cut with it, it's going to be really tough to eat. So we're going to cut like on this angle here. I don't particularly care for the fat on the top. I know some people don't mind that in their sandwich, but I'm not a big fan. So I'm going to cut a little bit of that back. But I'll tell you though, it adds so much flavor to the meat as it's cooking. So now you can really see the grain there. So I'm just gonna cut nice and easy, nice thin pieces. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna build this gorgeous sandwich in just a second. I'm actually building up one big sandwich, and then Eric and I are gonna share it. So I'm already gonna toss just a little bit of sauce just on top of it. That just looks so good. Keeps it nice and moist, even though it's like, you know, like butter already. Okay. So I've got one kind of large baguette. What I did is I scoop out a little bit of the bread inside because I like more stuffing in it. So I like to have a little bit more room. So then I'm gonna add a little bit of this mayo with the gochujang mix. Gonna kind of put that inside. Just get a good amount. Looks amazing. All right, so now we're gonna add in our meat. Kind of, look, it's just falling apart. So good. Okay, that's looking like a pretty hearty sandwich, I would say. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more of the sauce. I am like the condiment queen. I love sauces, but not too much because we don't want the bread to get all soggy. Just a tiny bit, just so that every little piece of that meat has it. These are our pickled vegetables. We've got pickled radish, carrot, and cucumber. Gonna go on top, just like that. Sometimes you just gotta use your fingers. They're the best tool in the kitchen. All right, look at that. Okay, I think I might finish it with just a little bit of cilantro on top, and then we're gonna be done. All right, I'm just gonna cut this in half, and I'm gonna taste it for you. Okay, let's see if I can do this without embarrassing myself. Okay, delicious. The meat is to die for. The flavors of the barbecue sauce, basically the Korean barbecue sauce, so good. The pickled vegetables add crunch and that acidic flavor. It is so good, it cuts through all the fat. I hope you make this for your friends and for your family. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Share with your friends and don't forget to click that bell so you know when our next video is coming up. Enjoy.